Yeah.
That's real.
Yes, no, it happens. And you
yeah, I'll show you.
No,
yeah.
and
La 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 la. I said I wasn't going to do it, and then I couldn't help myself. Welcome to another episode of Volume 1, the anime and manga podcast, where we review the first volume of a brand new manga each week. My name is Josh Musical Michaels, and today, as always, I am joined by
Megan Melody Perrine.
Oh, I love it.
Cody. No, okay, I was going to do one, but no, I'm not going to do that.
God damn it.
Just do it.
It would have been sad because, which we'll talk about. So, I don't know. Cody, I'm wearing my first ever manga t-shirt in my entire life. So.
Decker.
Yeah. Yes.
And I'm Volume 1 Chan. Hey guys, I wrote a song.
Okay.
Oh,
No.
What?
Oh, wow.
Save it to the end of the podcast. We're here to review things, not hear your song. I'm sorry, Volume 1 Chan.
Wow. I mean, I guess.
Please, get off my cube, why don't ya?
I'm not on your cube. Don't say that. And second of all, yeah, that sounds
Volume 1 Chan.
Yeah, because cube is close to cubes are boxes.
We don't have to get into
Well, okay, you said it.
That
People knew what was going on, and you brought it there.
Right. Don't say that. What I just said, don't say that, and we'll get to it at the end.
Okay.
Anyway, today we are, speaking of songs and music and melodies, we are reviewing Volume 1 of Given. Given is apparently a BL manga, which I kind of disagree with.
La, 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 la.
Yeah.
The people that watch anime. La, la, la,
Yes.
la,
Hit him with it.
la, 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 la.
You do that a little softer. Do it a little softer, and I'm going to read the synopsis over that.
Okay.
Okay. Love of music unites the four members of the band Given. Hot-headed guitarist Uniyoma, such a hard name to say. Playboy drummer Akihiko. Gentle bassist Haruki. And Mafuyu. Hard names in this manga. A singer gifted with the great talent and burdened by past tragedy. Their struggles and conflicts may drive them apart, but their bond to the music and to one another always brings them back together. How do you feel about that?
That was nice.
A little spoilery, I think.
Yeah.
But
I wrote just love of music unites four members of the band Given. That's it.
I've never read a BL before. I was expecting it to be a little more, I don't know if exploitative is the word.
No, that's exactly lewd. Lewd is the point. It is very, from what I've seen, I have also not been a huge BL reader, as much as that might make people think different of me, because, I dabble in everything, so it's a little weird that I wouldn't have ventured into BL or even GL, I guess, girls love too. But this was my first real read of a BL, and honestly, this is a good introduction to it.
Yeah, it's a great introduction to BL. I do have to wonder if this is technically, I guess, yes, a BL, but to me it just felt like a real story about a real relationship.
Well, that's what's funny about okay. So I've heard BLs being a thing, and I know the pictures are always like two guys on the verge of kissing, and I thought it was going to be that. It is about the love between boys,
between two boys.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's not that.
Actually,
in fact,
between 4 or 5 boys.
Yeah.
Oh
so,
yeah, I guess it gets up there in numbers for sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, it would be a boys' love story.
Well,
yeah, but like you guys said, I think of it as I think of, and not to say that they're the same at all, but you know how sometimes in certain things, like in shoujo, in like Prince Freya, when we reviewed Prince Freya, there's that scene where the knight is on top of Freya, and it's very
they're always about to kiss, and they go
yeah, everything's so yes, exactly. But this was not that.
Yeah, I was expecting a boy's love is going to be they're always on the verge of kissing, and then shots of their abs, as the shirt, as their hand like gently brushes the shirt up.
Yeah.
They look into each other's eyes.
Oh, paint the picture.
Cody really thought about this.
Wow. But yes, exactly.
I
Cody.
thought it'd be something like that.
No, Cody. Yeah, I don't know. Fucking,
Yeah.
I don't know. Thoughts, man. But you were not wrong because that is exactly what when you think of BL, you think of that.
Right.
So going into this, I genuinely thought like, okay, this is probably going to be one of those stories, and pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, because I don't consider Yuri on Ice BL.
No.
But if Given is BL, then Yuri on Ice is BL because there's the same amount of it's that same amount of tension, and in Yuri on Ice it's more will they won't they, and in Given it's they do.
Yeah.
Given.
Oh, bam, bam, la la la
La, la,
la.
Yeah, he knows the melody now. He knows the melody now.
So I want to talk about a couple things. Obviously, I want to talk about volume 1. Me and Megan watched season 1 of the anime, and I watched the movie. Megan watched most of the movie.
Most of the movie too, and we could talk about the mangaka too. I have a
yeah.
couple things about the mangaka
So
that I researched.
Let's start there then. Let's talk about the mangaka, and let's obviously talk about the manga first, and then we'll get into the anime and the movie.
So
later.
Natsuki Kisu is the mangaka of this. She wrote the story and does the art, which is really cool. She was born in 1996, so around the same time as us.
She is younger than I am.
Yeah. When were you born?
95.
95, close to Cody's age.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Why are young people so talented?
I hate
Stop.
it. Yeah.
They got a lot going
You
on.
shouldn't do anything unless you're older than me.
Exactly.
But I would say she, before this, had a couple works, but mostly were doujin, which is funny because the last manga that we reviewed, Nagatora-san, the mangaka, did doujin. Also did doujin, which is not a big thing, but she does doujin off of characters are already a thing, like Haikyuu, Attack on Titan, Hitalia. Yeah, definitely, but less vulgar and more just BL.
Is she the kind where they give them like the character development and stuff?
Kinda like
or does she just draw them with like thicker eyelashes?
No, I read the AOT one because I'm garbage, and it's Levi X.
I don't like
It's Levi X Aaron.
I'm into it.
And it's pretty steamy. Not gonna lie.
But it's more like wholesome.
I mean, those two already
No, it's
had a
not
lot
like
of
wholesome.
tension.
Like
Yeah.
they're
Little
like
chemistry.
they like do it.
Oh, they fuck.
But it's like in character. Like
Yeah. They're like,
not
oh, like
behaving.
I wanted to be vulnerable for him because I know he doesn't show his vulnerable side too much, Captain Levi. And I was like, oh, okay.
She's a great
Okay.
artist too. So
Right.
I think she can handle. I think she can handle the AOT universe.
Oh yeah, I mean Haikyuu,
Well.
like I said, Hitalia, Kuroko no Basket, which I've never seen, but I know it has hints of, like everyone wants to ship the boys, just like Haikyuu. Everyone they're like, oh, ship, and it's like they're not.
Right.
But this you could ship because they
Right.
it can't. It's a given that they get together. But I read that, and she has a bunch of other stuff. But I read one, which was very interesting, that had incest in it, and I was like, oh, okay.
The classic.
Yeah, it seems more and more common.
It was like like the first story was so nice and cute, and then the second story is just like, I know I visited mom's grave too, and then they're like on top of each other, and I was like, what?
Nice.
Okay, well that's just a little too fast.
I was like,
Yeah.
it's like I spread her ashes as well, and they're like, brother.
Speaking of spreading.
Yeah, speaking of
Whoa.
ashes, spread your ash.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
This is how we figure we'll get into writing. Is we've now learned you start on the erotic
Wow,
side.
wow,
Work
that
your
was
way up.
that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was kind of steamy.
Yeah, it's real steamy. It's getting a little hot in here. Yeah, it's a completely different direction that this mangaka went, though.
Yes.
I think this story is a beautiful story. I think it's done so incredibly well, and it never feels like it was made to just see boys make out.
Yes.
It's a love story, and the characters in it are real. Feel real.
Especially volume 1 seems to be the story about this guy who really just wants to learn guitar, and then you like learn a little bit about him, like why they're so interested in learning guitar, and then who is this band that he's interested in learning from, and they all get their little moments. I'm like, oh, that's what that guy's like. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy's the one who like looks intimidating, but he's not. I'm like, oh, That's a fun character.
Yeah, I did think it was interesting though. I love all of the characters. I have my favorite, and I'm interested to know who your
shit!
favorites
I'm very interested
are.
to hear who you guys' favorites are.
But I did think like how I mean, I guess they're all pretty lucky to have all like kind of coincidentally started a band, and literally everyone in the band is sort of closeted. Like, the coincidence.
Yeah, and it's like more of a thing where at one point Kaji's like, so what? I've been with girls, I've been with guys.
I love that kind of character, by the way. That's like an Oberyn Game of Thrones thing where he's like fucking guys and fucking girls, and I'm into it.
And he's just like, I don't know. And there was like that cute moment where Ueno Yama. Yeah, he was just like, am I crazy? Like, am I bad? And he was like, no.
I did like that about this series a lot, though, that it never felt taboo. I think a lot of times, like that's like so like indicative of like I think where we are with all of this, and I think it's awesome. It's never a point in this series of like him struggling with like, should I like girls? It's like, no, I like guys, and that's fine.
Yeah, it's like mostly in BL you see like that's the taboo factor of it is what makes it like. People want to read it, and like what sells, like oh my god, we shouldn't be doing this, and like blah blah, and it's like no, you can and you should if you want to, like it's not that big of a deal.
And to your point too, the drummer, I love that he just kind of came out and said it, and they're all not closeted. They're pretty. I mean, the main character is like he's learning that about himself. He's coming to terms with it, but not struggling with it.
And Sato's straight. Like, he's not straight, but he's like, he knows that he likes boys. Right. He's been with a boy.
Right. Yes. And, but Haruki, the bassist.
Nakayama.
Yeah. He's sort of coming to terms with it. He considered himself a straight man until he met the drummer. And that's when he started to,
have these feelings. Which is like it's like almost like it's like a pansexual thing where it's like I'm attracted to the person and not the gender, which is cool too.
Yeah.
And it's all just like
I knew someone
cool
who was bi in high school, and they explained it to me that to them sexuality is like hair color, or like gender is like hair color to them, where it's like maybe you're more into blondes at some point, but you don't really care if you meet someone you like who has like black hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean I think that's a pretty good way to say it. I've never heard it said that way. But yeah, it's something. I think the point of that is saying that it's something very like minor. It's not a major thing, which it seems to be for a lot of people. And I don't know. I want to talk about something later, and it's just like it's not a bad thing, but it's just like I expressed to people that this is something that I was reading and something that I was enjoying, and I just people's reactions to it. Were a little like just curious to me, and I want to talk about that later, but I want to talk about the story.
Well,
now.
Mentioning that, I mean, we have a very good friend, Cameron Austin. Shout out to Cameron,
Love Cameron,
who told us about this series and that he loves this series and would recommend it.
Given. Really? I thought your brother recommended.
My brother did recommend it as well, but Cameron, when we talked about it, he said that he loved it and it was a great story, and that's when I first really heard about Given. And then my brother was like, oh, you got to read this, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, I'll read it. I'll read it. And then I wanted to do an episode on it, but shout out to Cameron for...
Yeah, always shout out to Cameron.
For putting us on as well.
I do have to say, though, about the manga very quickly, had I just seen this cover, I'm out. I don't like it.
I mean, I kind of expected it to be a boy band thing. I was like, oh, I guess their band's called Given.
And it's small. It's a little small.
Yeah.
I don't know. Reading it, I was like, I don't know. I just felt like, I don't know, a little small.
It was a pretty short. It was shorter than some volume ones.
Yeah.
I do think that I also, by the way, I do want to say that this series must be incredibly popular because it was very hard for me to find a physical copy of this, which is something that I like to do just so I make sure to get a good translation. And I couldn't find it anywhere. I do want to say that I might have read a bad translation of it, which is another reason why I'm glad I watched the anime. Because there's so many things that I don't know if you guys felt this way reading it, but that were unclear, that were very unclear to me. as far as like people's not relationships, meaning like how they feel about each other, but their relationships and like how they met and where they go when they're not. I for some reason thought that like they all went to the same school.
No, I agree. And then I like the little character introduction pages where it shows like the character and their age and their hobbies and the way they style their hair and stuff like that. And I like that because I was like, oh shit, Nakayama's 22.
Yeah.
He's 20 and the other two are 16. So they meet up at a studio, obviously.
Yes.
Now that you know,
I thought they were meeting up on campus.
Yeah,
somewhere.
it does kind of read like that.
Yeah, and I
sure.
also like it also wasn't clear to me that the drummer and Unoyama worked together.
Oh no,
it didn't really. That didn't. Did you get that when you read it?
I just thought they all went to school, and I was like, all right, just let him learn guitar. God damn. Why aren't you teaching him? And he's like,
teach me.
No one. He's like, didn't someone teach you? Shouldn't you? Who?
Sorry.
Who the hell
I'm
is
sorry.
stepping on my
It's me.
headphone?
Sorry.
Megan, she's telling you to zip it.
I'm telling you to I just like cut the cord.
Yeah, dude. So I think watching the anime was like really beneficial because it made things a lot more clear.
And it does a lot of things different than in the manga. And honestly, for better or worse, I think for better.
I think for better.
Well,
too.
also it's based on music.
Very true.
Because there's a scene in which you guys told me what the scene is about, but there's a scene where I'm just like, oh, they didn't even bother adding like musical notes or like someone saying it was just like a shot and it's like, oh, so in the anime there's going to be
Oh, was it the scene that goes like this? La la
Yeah.
la la.
Yeah, they don't even.
La, la,
I don't
la,
remember him even
Yeah.
saying that. He just goes, all right, I really want to. I'll sing something that I've had in my heart.
Yeah,
And then it shows the other guy, and he's like,
yeah.
and then I'm like, oh, so okay, so you'll just do that later.
Yeah.
So I guess in volume 1 they didn't get to the part where they performed the song.
No.
Right?
No.
So when you heard that in the anime, it's moving, right? It's way more moving when you can hear it than just reading it.
Well, because in the manga, it's just you're just like it should just be a giant text that says "Imagine audio here,"
Yeah.
and they're like, that was beautiful. I'm like, oh, so I guess it was beautiful what he just did.
Yeah, I've always thought that's like a very bold thing to do, to make a music manga, like something that can't be heard. I don't know. It's just weird to me, like why you would choose to read something when it's based around something that you hear.
Well, because I've seen it in some manga where they have like My Hero had like, we're gonna play a band, and it's like,
Oh, yeah.
are you fighting terrorists? But so they'll do musical notes and then lyrics, so you're like, oh, this is what it will be, and this is something that definitely the point of this is to be in an anime. Otherwise, what's the I've read some comic books where they're at a concert and they just have like whatever the person is singing like at the top of every page.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so and that's that way they can sync it to the fight stuff, and you're like, okay, oh, that person's singing Freebird.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, you know what Freebird sounds like.
Yeah. It was very weird how they chose to illustrate singing, and it was even more jarring actually hearing it.
Mm-hmm.
It does, like you said, Megan, off mic, it does get good, but there's a scene of him in the staircase humming
Singing the song that he doesn't know the name of or
yeah.
the genre.
I was worried I like misremembered. Yeah, but it's it's just them in a stairway and like with sparkles, and I'm like,
yeah.
Insert music here.
Yeah.
I guess.
Insert song.
It's
I mean, there's not much they can do.
the other guy doesn't
Yeah.
even. He doesn't look like that's a good. Like he looks like he's like, oh, he's actually singing.
Yeah.
I mean, he hit his heart right there.
He was playing his heartstrings.
Yeah, no. In the next page, he gets a shot and then
I also struck.
it really shows him like singing his heart out, but not a single word comes out of his mouth.
Yeah.
So
I
you're
mean-
just like, there's sparkles. I assume that's really beautiful.
Yeah.
What's funnier is like they're not. I mean, I would rather that than putting la la la
Oh,
la
right.
la
I
la
mean,
la.
maybe she was just like, that's not going to translate.
Maybe maybe there is a version, a draft of this where she does have la la la's everywhere, and
It's
she's
just
like,
la 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 la
La, 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 la.
yeah, she's like, man, it really takes away from what I'm trying to say
Just,
here.
yeah,
Oh,
she just puts an
God.
asterisk and it's like, I uploaded a sound file on SoundCloud.
How cool though! Go to
And
www.
just go there
Yeah.
and then just know that he's singing it in this tune. And then
That has to have been done before.
that'd be cute if someone did that.
That'd be amazing
If there
you're
was like a writer who like also composes.
Well, yeah, or if even if you have somebody else do it, to say like go to this website and there's a file of the song there, listen to it while you read this chapter. That'd be awesome.
That'd be cool. Interactive.
Yeah, I mean, at least for a music manga, right?
Multimedia. What is
Multimedia,
it
I guess.
called?
Yeah,
It's multiple medias.
Yeah.
Multiple media's storytelling.
Yeah. I don't know. I absolutely love the characters in this story too. We meet them all over the course of. What's interesting about this manga is I think after doing research, it's only 6 volumes long, meaning season 1 of the anime covers the first arc, and the movie, which just came out recently and is available on Crunchyroll, covers the second arc. And I believe that's all of it.
And it took its goddamn time in the first season. You get to episode 5 and you're not even done with volume
Yes.
1. I was like, wow.
Yes.
They're really, and it's a lot of things are changed, but
A
it's
lot of things are added.
added
Yeah.
and changed to add more of a story element, like a storytelling element. You kind of get their gist, and they introduce them a little better, I think, in the anime, just because you get to see his type of backstory a little bit.
Well, what I think the
more.
anime does is I think it gives them more moments interacting, just being normal kind of high school boys.
Mm-hmm.
It gives them more time to establish their relationship. So things that kind of they breeze past in the manga, like I don't remember if in volume 1, do you remember a scene where they were talking about guitar pedals and they were talking about different guitar pedals that make different sounds? Megan, can you try to find it?
They did, and it was just like him talking about it, and there's like a little drawn picture of different types of pedals, and said if you want this one, it sounds like this. And
I really think in the manga it was one page or a couple panels, which is probably why you don't remember it. But in the anime, it's almost a full episode where they go to one shop. So this one panel.
Oh yeah,
this
his
one
little
panel
stickers.
are talking about the
Yeah.
pedals
that's
and
why-
stuff, and then in the anime they go out of town
Yeah, it's
to
a
the
whole
shop.
thing. They go to two shops.
And
Yeah.
there's more moments with them
He
together.
can't afford the first pedal, so they go to a used store, and he can't afford that one either, so he has to put it on layaway, and it's this whole thing, and it's just like one page in the manga.
I
Yeah.
love the idea of any story including something being put on layaway. That's always a fun thing of like,
Yeah.
and then we had to wait more. It's like, why'd you tell me that?
I love the idea of layaway.
Yeah, it's
I love it.
There was a Don Quixote. There's a part in that book where
He put something on layaway?
he explains why he's like, I had to go do all this stuff to like worrying about what happened here.
Yeah.
And for like 2 chapters. And it was like none of that was important, but like that's the joke. Yeah, like I get that this is like boys' love because like I guess by what it, but it seems more like a slice of life about someone learning how a band works.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really
It
doesn't
really
know
is that.
anything about bands or music at all. Like, at all. He goes, he doesn't know any. Oh, you can change the strings on a guitar? Like, just.
Yeah, and I will say he is a little more tolerable in the anime than he is in the manga. In the manga, I almost feel like they make him dumber in the manga. He's more just like, has that blank look. And maybe it's because, obviously I can't hear him. So, I mean, to me, he's just always like staring off into the distance.
Well, that made sense, especially because of stuff you find out. But it seemed like he.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And they mentioned like, oh, he's starting to.
Come out of his shell a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he just seemed like someone who was finally like, you know what, I am gonna talk to them and ask them to teach me. And so he's like, you can change guitars? Oh, I didn't know that. What is that? A bass booster?
Bass booster.
Yeah, and I don't mean to be mean and say dumb. What I mean is like I thought that until I found out the reason for him being that way.
Which that'll be our exact spoiler mark when we.
Yeah.
Because that there is a point where because I went from being worried it was gonna be dudes like just like caressing each other's faces and just sort of like looking into each other's eyes and like their lips are just about to touch.
What, you can talk about the movie?
They glisten.
Yeah. Everything you're describing seems to happen in the movie.
Bro,
But-
and more.
Yeah.
And more. The movie is spicy, and I was not expecting that. They went straight into it, and there's some crazy scenes in that movie.
The movie is apparently canon, too.
Which, there's a part we could talk about that made me think less of a character, and
yeah, but
it was a bit forceful.
Oh,
it
no,
wasn't
100%.
a bit. It was 100%
Yeah.
forceful.
No, it was.
And it was saying,
bottom line
no,
forceful.
stop. And it was
Yeah.
forced upon. But anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So,
anyway.
yeah, you think it's
So
going to
that
be all
thing
this.
I said.
Yeah. The thing that you thought it wasn't, it becomes.
Well, because I if they like build up to it, that seems even like that. So it would just I didn't really get any sense of romance in this at all either.
Yeah.
Like I just know it's supposed to be because it just seemed like people talking to each other.
Yeah, you know what else is kind of interesting now that you say that too? There isn't, even after, and I think the point that you're saying should be the spoiler mark, will be the spoiler mark, but I don't think what I am about to say is a spoiler. But when two characters eventually have a moment, it doesn't become, even after that, romantic. It's sweet, it's wholesome, it's heartfelt, it's warm, but it never becomes about the relationship, at least in volume 1. It always is about
It seemed
the
like
music and this person's past.
yeah, and like these like friendships like building up
Yeah.
between them. So like I mean if it takes like a season with an anime and then a manga before like anything happens, like that doesn't seem like exploitative raunchy. I
It's
don't.
not.
It seems like that just seems like a very real like and then like that's build up and payoff.
Which
Yeah.
I like about the series in general, because a lot of time, like I said with BL, you get that just immediate, like, oh, they first met for this one time, they've never seen each other before, and they're like ready to risk it all, and it's like
Yeah.
it's
What
not
was
how
that-
it works.
What was that one you showed me when we were at Barnes and Noble, where it was a guy who likes feeding his office coworker?
Oh yeah, and it's like feedings. I don't even know what it was called, but then like I go 2 pages in and they're already like on their knees,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm like, oh okay.
He's
yeah,
like
this is
feeding him a
classic
burger,
BL,
but the guy
yeah.
gets on his knees, and the other guy takes his shirt off, and he's like feeding him the burger in front of him.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Which, so I went in expecting that,
Right.
and I was just like, oh, he's just like sad.
No, I mean the way that yes, he is sad, but the way they tackle love, period,
Mm-hmm.
is, and maybe it's done a little bit more in the movie, but it's just I related to it like wholeheartedly. Like I felt that way. I've had these sort of like reactions to things. Like it was I call lots of things real, but this it felt like it was relatable, and it was like I could put myself in every member of this band's shoes at a certain point. It was amazing. It was so amazing. I feel like it's a little bit of a, and I might be completely wrong, because like you said, I don't have a lot of experience reading BL, but it feels like a disservice to just call this a BL.
Well, yeah, because that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking. Because like, if I didn't know this was supposed to be BL, I'd be like, oh, it's a slice of life. Because like, if you take a slice of life and it becomes about like 2 girls in a relationship, does it become a GL?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I don't really like.
Yeah, like Yuri and Yaoi are like
Well, yeah.
a thing. This is just like, it just says BL on the top
Yeah.
because it's sublime BL, it's like sublime manga, because this is classified as a BL because they're in love, but it's like, can it just be a regular story?
Yeah,
Just
that's
be a regular story.
Like, you can't be a slice of life if it's about 2 guys or 2 girls. It then becomes a BL, and then it becomes a GL.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
couldn't
I
say
don't.
that
I don't
for
know
sure.
either. But I do think that like what is kind of odd to me is this is a regular story about a regular relationship. I think it's weird to me that if you make this about a boy and a girl, it becomes like, I don't,
Just
less,
a regular
be a
romance.
slice of life.
Yeah, romance slice of life, and this is just like
Yeah.
BL.
Yeah, and what I'm trying to say by that is that this is this is what what all I'm trying to say is that I don't think you should make this. I think this is as beautiful as any story. I don't think we should make it. We should give it this like extra. We should put it in this like other category, because to me it seems like that makes it like I don't know. It just gives it sort of, in my experience with BL, it sort of cheapens the story. Not to say that those stories aren't, funny or important or good. They're all kinds of different genres. But this just to me seems like a beautiful story, period. An L. An L. A love.
But it's not taking an L.
Oh, it's taking a W.
But also, I have now been told that it will dip into it does become what BL is. And also, if you were looking for a BL, is this not what you would expect, Megan?
No.
Okay. So like
it's more when I think of BL, I think of like an ecchi type story.
And maybe I'm wrong. I want to say fully that like I have little to no experience with BL, so this could be a BL and I'm just an idiot. But I mean, like, your argument is like, okay, this is just a BL because there's two boys in love. Like, it's
I mean,
a BL usually has a lot of fan service. I mean, Yuri too, like it has a lot of romantic shoujo elements where it's romantic to be romantic and they don't know each other but they are madly in love and like that type of thing. So like it's more ecchi, just like ecchi series in general. Like it's an expectation that shenanigans are gonna happen, but with this it's not that. It's just a love story.
Even when Cody, you say that you're saying it goes there, it does go there, but to the payoff kind of point you were making, these are very character driven decisions that are made and repercussions of actions that feel very realistic. So they're not fan service. These moments do happen, but they're earned. They make sense.
Well, that's what I said.
I'm saying you're right about that.
It's not just like for the sake of showing two boys kiss. It's not that. It's like a buildup of the time that they spent together and the relationship that they build with each other, and it's just like
okay, so I want.
So, I mean, but because what I'm thinking is like, well, Chainsaw Man is a shonen, but it's not. It's like, oh, technically it hits these criterias. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Like you would, if you compare it to a shonen, you're like, it's not really that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But I also think that's kind of what makes it so appealing, is because it's put in that category, and then when people find it, they find it different, and they find it fresh, and so that's what makes it appealing. Also, that it's a great story, but I think people go in expecting one thing and are given. I forget how you worded it, Cody, but we were like filming something about Chainsaw Man, and you said it sells itself as a shonen, but
it's an anti-shonen.
Yeah, something like that.
In the sense of like, the Punisher is an anti-hero. That being anti doesn't equate to being the opposite. It's a different take on it.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is maybe this is an anti-BL then. But again, I don't know. I think it's just a real ass story.
Okay, who are your favorites?
Given is a real ass story.
Who is your favorite?
Final.
I'm dying to know.
The black hair guy.
Can I guess?
Oh, so Cody's is the black haired guy.
So you like
the main character. Hold on.
Uniyama.
Yeah.
Uniyama. Yours is Nakayama.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, I fucking knew it.
How did you know?
He's just like, I don't know. He just seems like that would be your favorite because
is that the one with the bun?
The hair.
The long hair. Yeah.
He is very sensible, very responsible, sensitive, very just accommodating, and doesn't want to start any, real.
He's like the mother
waves.
of the group.
Totally, and he's so wholesome, and I just really hope the best for him throughout the whole series. Yeah, and I don't know. Talking more about him, I think he might be my favorite
he
too.
He is the best.
He is the best,
hands down. But who was your favorite before you started talking about?
At first, I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be Yuno."
Okay.
I was like, "It has to be Yuno," and then I was like, "Okay, well, maybe I like Kaji a little bit, but he just didn't really give me anything for me to really enjoy him." And Sato, I liked as well because I was like, oh my god, his backstory. And like, I really love all of them.
I do too.
Yeah.
But
I
I
mean,
think Nakayama is my favorite.
when they go into his backstory, that's when I'm like, oh, he's not just a tool as a window into. I thought that's what he's the newcomer to the band, and they go like, yeah, here's what we do. I'm the funny guy, and then that guy. He's the more serious one who goes, yes, I am the more serious one. It's like, oh, you don't know what music is? You want to join? Okay. Yeah, then we're going to, and then he just shows him around. But then there's a moment you're like, oh, okay, he's like a real character.
Yeah.
They're all so different, and they're all so unique. I mean, like you said, there's the bad boy character, but he's so complex. You know, his backstory with I think his name
you haven't even seen that shit yet.
Let's see, I wrote it down. Ugetsu, the violinist. Very complicated. A look into a very toxic relationship.
Toxic, not I mean it's just it's the type where you're like you're just together to be not separate from each other.
You're together because it hurts too much to be apart.
But it hurts a lot to be together.
But it also hurts a lot to be together.
Yeah. Dude.
But yeah, they're also complex. They're also layered. I wanna figure out what else we need to cover before we hit that spoiler mark. Because I do think that there is a few more things to say.
Well, I mean, that's it for the story before they use like, so why do you because they drop hints and they talk about they talk about like, oh yeah, that one they don't really care much about girls, and like, okay, and then
yeah,
okay,
well yeah, they I forget, but I think it's a moment in the manga too. They mention that the main character, because he has a sister, that he just doesn't really think of girls as
girls. He's comfortable with like women as people. Shocker.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's because
he has a. I've been hearing a lot more. Who are under the impression that having a sister
makes you a saint,
alters your like
right
your mental structure.
Well, I think the idea with him is that they're around the same age. She's a little older than him, but also she just walks around in her underwear all the time, and she makes him go buy her, I think, tampons and stuff.
Yeah, I love that. I wrote that down. That
I mean, it is
so
funny, but they do refer to it as a reason why he's just not really.
I mean, he's just closeted. Like,
yeah.
I mean, he's never had a girlfriend before. It makes sense that it's like he's not into girls, and then you have that one girl.
Poor girl.
I mean, poor girl, but like, she's also like being a little bitchy. Yeah. And I wrote too, I was like, so funny. And she's like, are you guys like gay or what? Like, just straight out of
say that a lot in the beginning.
Straight out just say it, and I spit out my coffee, like, because I was just not expecting them to just be like, oh, so are you gay? And it's just like, he could have, like, he didn't know at that point. And then she just goes on to be like, hey, you know about him? Yeah, there's rumors about him. She's trying to like, not have him be his friend anymore.
Well, she likes him, and she wants to, she's jealous.
She's jealous.
Yeah.
And that's where you find out.
Yes, and that's where she spills the beans, and she says it in a real kind of mean way, because she didn't have to add the last part, which she does apologize for later. But
she does, but it was pretty.
Yeah. I guess now we're at the spoiler-ish mark. This is still volume 1 stuff, so if you're wanting a little bit of mystery, you can pause it here and finish reading, or if you don't care to have the events of volume 1 spoiled, keep listening. But I think we should have some sort of spoiler sound.
Yeah, we should also mention that you and I both have sisters, and
right.
I mean, I don't think that's that's.
Okay, Cody keeps going. He said this multiple times.
Yeah. What are you trying to say?
Because that depiction of the brother-sister relationship, I'm like, that was one of those things where I was like, oh, is this part of like yaoi, like ecchi stuff? It was like showing like every relationship being a little like, that was the one part where it was like, oh, is this ecchi?
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Because it's like
they had a little bit.
Because they're like, oh, they act like this is brothers. This is like,
because they were a little too close.
Yeah, I mean, did you read that? And you're like, yeah, that's what.
I mean, there was a weird, and again, it could have been a translation thing, but there was a weird moment where he comes in and she's on the couch, and she's like in basically underwear and a tank top, and she has like food all over her or whatever, or not food. Maybe she's reading a book or something. But he ends up saying like, she's like, she's being very, I don't know. She's being her attitude towards him is very odd, and he says to her like, I can't believe you're a woman, let alone my sister or something. But it was in that moment, in that exchange, that there was, to me, it felt like, okay, there's a little, they're implying something.
I didn't think that at all. I just think
know.
she's like doesn't give a fuck.
No, I mean she doesn't give a fuck, but I did feel that in that moment.
Are you a woman thing is because she's being so messy with food.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I did feel what you're talking about in that instance, but that was the only time I felt that. But you're saying that just because you have a sister, that does not mean that you're a saint, right?
Well, no, they're just that because what they were saying is I hear people say that sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like, that doesn't.
Well, I think, definitely it doesn't mean that, but also like, what was your relationship with your sister like?
I mean, we lived together. I don't know. She would pay me $5. I let her paint my nails. I don't.
Oh, that's kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Easy bake ovens.
Older or younger though?
My sister is older than me.
Just like the main character.
Yeah, she got a master's degree in psychology.
Oh, she's smarter than you too.
I drive a forklift.
Is she in a relationship?
She is married.
She is killing it.
Yeah.
Wow.
She owns a house in Tennessee.
Hey, guess what? My sister's younger than me and married and has a beautiful kid.
Oh no, that's the
yeah.
worst part.
Well, he's fucking adorable. But anyway, I get what you're saying. Just because you have a sister doesn't mean you're a saint, even though people do seem to be implying that more and more. And this story implies it too. But it's just that he's, not into girls. And that's just, it has nothing to do with him having a sister.
Really?
So if only we had a sound to indicate that we were kind of sort of going to head into spoiler territory.
It's spoiler time. Yes. It's spoiler time.
Yes. Oh my God, I just want to hear that on a loop. Wow.
Spoiler alert! Someone died.
Yeah. Someone died. Do you want to say who died?
Yeah, it's Sato's Boothang. Childhood Boothang.
Which I do want to talk about too, because I don't know if you guys felt the same way. But was it also unclear to you how he died? It was he. They say suicide.
That was it. That's all they mention is they killed themselves.
Yeah.
Which to me implied that it was. I guess what I'm trying to say is in the anime, they make it seem like he did kill himself, but because he drank himself to death.
In middle school?
Yeah.
No, but they show.
No, they show him.
I thought.
No, but they
I
show
thought he
in the
was
beginning
hanging.
though. They show him in the beginning hanging.
In the beginning of the manga?
In the beginning of the anime, remember when he's like when Sato wakes up and he sees his little cute dog, and then he's like walking out the door. They show like a shot of him staring at him hanging a little bit, like him like a higher person, and then him like he found him. But it did seem like they're like, oh, he drank a lot. But you wouldn't die from like 4 beers.
I mean, you wouldn't die from 4 beers.
Yeah, they show like 4 beers. Like he couldn't even drink, and he drank 4 beers, and he was done.
I guess
I feel like I remember when they mentioned that, and then it shows like legs hanging or something.
Well, yeah. Try to find that. If you can find that, then I stand corrected. But I could have sworn, because I watched the anime very recently. I could have sworn that they said that. And also, it seemed to me like it was more. It held a lot of weight because you didn't really know why this happened. This is a tragic thing that happened. And when it's almost like when you're left to wonder, it almost made it hit harder because your imagination is going wild. Like, why did he do that? Did he not feel accepted, or was somebody horrible to him? Did he not love himself? Like, it could be all these things. So when you kind of find out the reason, from what I understand, they got into an argument.
Yeah, and no, but in the anime, they do show what he says to him. He goes like as he's singing the song at the first live, he goes like, would you die for me then?
If you love me, would you die for me?
And then he died. And
then he kills himself, which is like, I mean,
Romeo
I guess
style, Romeo
right?
and Juliet style.
No, hold on. I'm sorry. I kind of
No, I mean,
checked. I couldn't find it. Hold on. No, that's not beautiful.
If I said, Cody, if you love me, you would die for me, and if you killed yourself, there'd be a part of me that was like, man, I guess you fucking love me.
No,
it's.
I'd be like, damn, I guess he loved
No,
me.
he really, like, what the fuck? Like, that was the last thing he said to him, and he really just, I don't know. There must have been something else going on. I mean,
so
like.
funny. His reaction.
No. I mean, you're right, Cody.
that's not. I mean, I am like. I guess that goes beyond Volume 1. That scene that they show in the anime, of if you love me. I assume that came after a fight and like, I love you, I'll do anything. Then they're like, die for me.
No.
And then they do, and then he goes, ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum.
I guess, like, really.
Because I don't take that. I didn't take that as like a. Oh, okay. Oh, well, I'll get right on that, boss.
Right.
I took that as like a.
I'll get right on
that's
that,
what it
boss.
takes, if you don't think I will.
Right, and I didn't mean beautiful like I thought it was actually beautiful. I meant like it's tragically poetic, as in Romeo and Juliet, like Megan said. Yeah, because they die for each other,
And they didn't have to.
Yeah, they didn't have to, but everybody seems to think that story is beautiful.
A lot of people, I think, more people think it's dumb now than.
I think now, yeah, people are starting to really like.
I'm hearing an argument that people are saying that that's actually supposed to be a comedy.
Oh, really?
Like, even back then, it was supposed to be a parody of, like... Because Shakespeare did parodies of, like, plays.
Huh.
Like, a lot of them end on, like, making fun of how plays work or stuff like that. So the argument is, like, Romeo and Juliet was probably a parody of, like... Oh, but then I'm dead. Oh. And then they go, I'm not dead. Oh, but they're dead now. Now, spoilers for Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
And,
gotta clarify.
Spoilers for Romeo and Juliet.
But now that you're dead, I was faking being dead. Like,
yeah.
that can easily be seen as a comedy scene.
Yeah, you're right. And speaking of Shakespeare and plays, Given actually is getting a stage play.
Oh,
yeah, based on the
there's
manga.
a lot of musical anime.
Yeah, so they're gonna have a band perform, right? Or?
I mean, obviously, it's gonna be a banger soundtrack
because
too.
it would be so interesting if they did like, okay, so this is about a band and it's a manga, so we can't really use sound, so they do a stage play and like, well, there wasn't really sound in there, so we're kind of gonna gloss over. So they just have like all this stuff set up and
they go black.
Yeah,
every time they have
every time. Yeah.
They're like, wow, that was really good singing.
I do think
I've never heard such good. Yeah, you just never. That becomes like the you never find out what that song is, and everyone has their theories. It probably goes like this. Bam, 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 bam. It's like no. If you listen closely, based on that guy's reaction, it's probably a little higher pitched.
No, you could tell it was definitely a little higher pitched.
Yeah.
I do think that as far as music, anime, and manga in general go, have you guys seen a lot of other music, manga, or anime? Because as far as I know, Carol and Tuesday is something that I really enjoyed, and what is Kids on the Slope, which is a jazz anime, beautiful anime. But as far as music anime goes, this is probably one of my new, if not new, favorite. It's probably top on that list.
Yeah, for sure. I've watched like K-On! And Anonymous Noise, which I kind of like as a like comparison. I was comparing it to this. I mean, it's not like BL or like Boys Love, but it's like a romance type of story, and it has to do with music and her finding her voice, and it was very much like this kind of story. But I do like Given better because it has more of a weight to the characters and like what they go through versus like just getting together for a band or like being like slice of life or whatever. But I mean I would say probably this is my favorite music anime for sure.
I was thinking about it
land on it, huh?
on my drive here, and it was sort of like this is one of those that seemed fine, but I have nothing to like. I'm not into like a slice of life in general.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like cool. I wasn't even invested in. I didn't care enough to find out like what it actually sounds like. I liked.
Me and Josh did.
You guys did. I just liked the comedy of that, of having All right, well, I'm gonna sing you that song I really like.
I had to hear it. I had to hear it.
Oh yeah.
That scene alone, I was like, oh, what does he sound like when he sings? And then I had to watch it, and then you watch it, and then
I mean, I was planning on watching a couple episodes, and maybe at least until volume 1. But like Megan said, it takes like 5 episodes before you get to where volume 1 ends.
Which is pretty crazy.
And then you're halfway through the anime because it's only 11 episodes, and you're like, well, might as well finish it. and then once you're done, you're like, well, now I gotta see the movie.
Yeah.
And it just kind of gets you.
It does get you.
It does
get you. And freaking Nakayama and fucking what's his name? Kaji. Their like fucking story too. Like that shit got me.
Yeah. You're
Like,
talking about from the movie.
Yeah, from the movie.
Yeah.
Like it was like, okay, cool. We're not going to just see these characters. We're going to see some other characters take the front seat.
Now, because we're in spoiler territory, I can clarify. And for Cody too, like
spoilers for the movie, by the way.
Yeah,
Which would be
light
the
spoilers.
anime, and then
The
another
movie.
season.
No.
No.
It's one season and then a movie.
Yeah.
So skip through one season.
Well, I mean, this is like super light in that like the season 1 of the anime covers basically. Again, these character names are very hard to pronounce for me. Unoyama and Mafuyu, their Mafuyu Sato, whatever. It covers their relationship, and then the movie covers Haruki and Kaji's relationship
As friends.
As friends, yeah, as friends, and I think that's just important to know going into it, and I also really like that about the series too. That these 2 characters who you think are the main characters kind of take a back seat in the second half of the series. But I do want to say too, just to clarify, it when you find out about the backstory of his ex-boyfriend or boyfriend that tragically killed himself, and that's why he's carrying around this guitar, and that's why, which is something that I always kind of I knew it had to be something tragic, but that still shook me when I found out that was the exact reason.
Yeah, I had no idea going into it. I was like, okay, he just wants, like Cody said, he just is a prop for the story, just a new band member, exposition.
Well, they keep hinting at it, like there's no. He keeps saying there's no way a someone who doesn't know how to play guitar would have this kind of guitar. So that gets my brain working and thinking like, okay, well, I'm thinking maybe dad. I'm thinking maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe friend. But no, I mean, this was his boyfriend, someone he loved, someone he was in a relationship with, and it just hit me. I did not expect it to be that. And when I found it out, it hurt. It hit. And I got emotional.
Yeah, finding it out, I was like, oh, that sucks. And like, that's so sad for him. It does suck. But watching
Dude, that sucks.
Watching
your boyfriend gave you that? Fuck.
Watching the anime and that scene that I showed you before we started recording, like, I literally shed some tears. Like, it was so powerful, and the lyrics to this fucking song, and the moments they shared together, and the shit that he's saying, like, oh my god, like it really just it was such a good scene. It was perfect. It was so perfect. The build up was amazing. Like it was.
Well, that's what's so beautiful about music series is they have music built in to sell the emotional moments of these stories, right? So, yeah, the montage flashing back to when they were kids and, you're finding out about his abusive father, which he also says at one point, too, that, like, someone says to him, like, why don't you just speak up? Why don't you just, talk? Tell me how you feel. And he's like, because when I tell my dad how I feel, I get beat or something.
So we were just talking about how you have one of the symptoms of because I found that out. So I like you didn't know that was, there's very noticeable symptoms of people who like grow up in like loud abusive households. And one of the easiest ones is they just naturally walk quietly.
Oh yeah,
because that's why I sneak up on people constantly because I like walk with a very steady. And then Josh was like, I don't know why I walk quiet. I was like, you probably got yelled at all the time. He's he was like, I did.
Yeah, well, it was kind of a moment where
Intrusive.
Well, no, I mean, it was like I had things just kind of made sense.
He started like an idea. I was like, oh my god.
Well, yeah, because then I started thinking why do I always if I hear someone in another room talking, I don't.
You think it's about you?
Always.
And then someone's in like the kitchen, like moving pots and pans around, like pretty loud, and you're like, they're probably mad at me.
Mm-hmm.
No, not that they're mad at me.
You hear a door slam and you kind of
Fuck.
No, but if I hear someone talking, not to eavesdrop, I'm not like being nosy, but I'm like I'm listening to hear if they're talking about me because they in the past they always were. And so I'm thinking what is this person saying? And then they're talking about where they ate last night, and I'm like, okay, I'm
crazy.
fucked up.
Yeah.
And you've got a nice silent gait.
Yes, very silent. Very to myself, quiet, unnoticeable.
Because you've been talking about it for a while. It's like, yeah, me and my brother were both very quiet. We barely make any noise, actually. Yeah, we can be home and not even know the other one's there.
I used to have a joke. I never really fleshed it out completely, but the joke was that my stepmom was mean and abusive, and I was
that's hilarious.
Right? No, it gets funny. I promise. I was like, and the thing is, my stepmom was mean and abusive, and she thought she was really giving it to me, but in reality, she was just making me a great roommate.
That's fun.
Yeah. But it could have been
That's
worded,
fun, yeah.
It could have been worded better, but
it's pretty fun.
yeah.
No, that's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Wow. Anyway, cool tangent. I liked it.
I mean, yeah. Overall,
that's why, because he was very quiet. I thought that was one of the.
Yeah.
And that explains why he's sort of passive and he's trying.
Well. Yeah,
and then also the big thing.
His childhood friend, which turned into his boyfriend, was he told him hey, my dad he hits me, and then there's a shot of him holding his hand and them taking him away because this boy was like, I'm not gonna let this shit happen anymore. I'm gonna fucking tattletale on the dad's ass, and he got taken away. So their relationship was way more complex, and then just it was like a fucking friendship that grew into a romance. And everyone was cool with it, which is amazing. All their bandmates, their other friends from middle school.
Well, they even say that his parents were super accepting of it too.
The go-to would have been to have the dad be abusive because of that, but
no.
Seems like that
which
I guess funny is not the word, but to imagine he's yeah, I don't care. I just hate you as a person, and as he
beats
beats him,
right,
his
Jesus.
child.
I think there's a group of people that think that's funny.
Another thing I liked is the different ages too. It's it's more relatable. Adults in anime and manga, you always see just this is a teenage thing, but
yeah, I love that they didn't make it. I mean, there are stories where that is a very. It's the one of the main focuses of the story, because although I have little to no experience with that, it is a real thing and it does happen. So it's important that there are stories about it. But what I liked about this story is that it was different, and it didn't. It chose not to make that an issue. So it focused on just people and their relationships with each other as high school students and as 22, 23-year-old people. Mm-hmm. And like you said, I love that there was this older, younger sort of look at it. I like that there were both of those sides. And because again, in the movie, I mean, it gets a little more complicated. There's a scene where the drummer's getting fucking head from a random girl.
Yeah.
For seemingly no reason.
Well, they're in a band.
And he's the drummer.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. You're gonna tell me? Yeah. Water's wet, dude. What was the point of that?
Right. I want to.
Now you guys were saying you wanted to talk about something that you were not okay with in the movie, though.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't want to give too much away.
Okay.
Because it is kind of a scene where I was not expecting that to happen at all, and in general, I was not expecting this type of segue, because I really just thought it was about these two. Going into the movie, I was like, oh, I know what it's going to be about. I have an idea. And then it just completely like, no, it's this story now. And it's with these characters now, which was kind of crazy.
Yeah, well, what happens, again, this is not at a point where we're going to be giving anything away. But what happens is we find out a little bit more about the drummer and his roommate. Who did you see in Volume 1, Cody?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't think they show him.
He has a roommate who is a guy that
he went to school with.
Yeah, but he also seems to be in a somewhat romantic relationship with. But it does seem, even in the beginning, it does seem like it's not a typical normal relationship. It feels almost like it feels like a hookup kind of agreement, right? Just because it seems very casual. But then we find out that this guy is a musical genius, and he's gifted on the violin, and he's one of the best violin players that's ever existed, and he's sort of arrogant, but also is pained. His living and existing is painful to him.
Well, as it is to everyone.
As it is in this story to geniuses. So Cody must be the smartest guy I've ever met.
Well, if I'm Albert Einstein, then you're Tesla.
Thank you. Wow, if you peel back the layers, though. Are we complimenting each other, or are we hurting each other?
Josh, you are the smartest man I have ever met.
Cody, I want to say this. You are truly a genius. Yeah.
This conversation's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
That was put a nice little bow on that.
But their relationship, that's the toxic relationship we're talking about. He's a genius. The drummer is in love with him, but he is pushing the drummer away because of,
reasons.
Oh.
Different
okay.
reasons.
Yeah.
Shut
Right.
the fuck up.
We're trying to get too much away.
Shut the fuck up.
No, I'm glad to know that.
There's different reasons.
Oh, different reasons.
But
Yes.
Haruki, the bass player, is in love with the drummer, but the drummer, I'm trying to tiptoe.
You don't have to tiptoe anymore. That was the tiptoe's gone.
No, that's not. There's still the I'm tiptoeing around.
They did skip this part in the first volume though, when he gets drunk and he's like, "You drank too much," and then he, falls asleep on him.
That was in the anime and the manga.
I don't remember that in the anime.
Yeah, it was definitely
When
in
he
the
no,
anime.
I don't think so. When he falls
100%.
on, no way. I think
1,000,000%.
no. When he sleeps on his couch, yeah,
No,
and then
when he
leaves.
sleeps on top
When he
of
sleeps on his bed. I got you, Josh.
I don't remember that in the anime. I thought they skipped that.
100%. But I will say this: it comes a lot later in the anime, and it happens different in the anime, but it does happen where he falls asleep on top of him. Yeah.
And that's when you kind of get the gist, like, okay, he's a little embarrassed that he's doing that, and then you're like, oh.
Look, I'm gonna say it. So if you want to see the Given movie, you could stop it here. I apologize. What Megan is referring to, Cody, is because the drummer has that weird relationship with the violin prodigy. They're very toxic. They both are pushing each other away, but they both love each other very much, but they hurt each other all the time.
Imagine being in that kind of-
Imagine.
I can't even.
Wow. This mangaka had quite the imagination.
Yeah, I didn't realize this was some sort of bizarro fantasy.
Oh my god.
Where it was like
Are you sure one of the main characters wasn't named Cody? Are you sure?
Imagine.
But they get in an
Cody's
argument.
a solid band name.
Cody is
Band guy name.
Oh, band guy name.
Yeah.
No,
No,
band
More
guy.
of like a roadie.
Cody the roadie.
Cody the roadie?
Hell yeah.
Oh, fuck. Yeah,
I'll do
dude.
it, yeah.
I am the roadie.
Yeah, he
You
would
know
be
that Tenacious D
country-ish.
song?
On the road
no.
again.
No.
I thought you were making that up.
Oh no.
Oh, you were stealing a
Lonesome warrior
Tenacious D song.
searching for a soul.
No.
I am the roadie.
Okay,
I
now,
make the rock go.
now we're going to get flagged
Wait, is
because that
that
was so good.
Jack Black?
Yes, it is
Oh,
Jack. How
okay.
did you know it was
Wait,
Jack
is
Black?
that-
Tenacious D.
Is it?
She already said that.
And the game where he's a roadie.
The game?
Oh, he's a.
There's a game that Jack Black.
He probably put that in the song.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably put that song in the game.
There's a game where it's an isekai essentially.
I do know it.
Where
I do
Rhodey
know it.
gets
Yeah, I do
killed
know
and
it,
he wakes up in rock
Yeah, I
world.
do know.
Gotta make the rock. Okay,
Yeah.
but anyway.
But anyway, they get in a fight, and he goes over to the bassist's house, asking him if he could stay there, but he's a little upset and he's a little drunk, and so he tells the bassist, "Hey, dude, I know you fucking love me. I know you do."
Yeah, he goes, I know you love me, so why are you trying to leave me?
Yeah.
Pretty much. He's trying to bring that toxicity.
He's like, so let's
System of the down.
Yeah, system of the down. He's like, if I know you fucking love me, stop acting like you don't love me. You know you fucking want it.
Yeah, dude. No, seriously.
Yeah.
And then he like starts trying, like he's like literally on top of him, and he's like holding him down, and he's like kissing him and like opening his mouth and shit, and
then
like
he's putting his legs up, and he's putting his mouth and his tongue by his like butthole.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yes, no, it happens, and
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I'll show you.
No,
yeah.
and he,
That's
and
okay.
and he's like, no, like it was so out of pocket, just like what? And then he just does this, and then he's like, and then he's just like, no, stop! Like I don't want to see your face like this. You look really upset. You're not like doing this because you want to. You're doing it to like get back at this fucking person.
Right.
And then they stop, but it is very traumatic. Like he's really fucked up after it. Pretty much. He's like, get the
And is that the scene where it's all that saliva on the fingers?
No, that's a different scene.
Okay.
It gets pretty crazy in the movie.
Yeah, the movies, they don't hold back.
They do not hold back.
You said it was spicy.
It was spicy.
Very true. Yeah.
It's spicy.
I was like, okay, what do you mean spice? But that is.
Oh yeah,
muy caliente.
Yeah, muy caliente.
Yeah.
And he gets in there and he
oh, I bet, yeah.
he even like rips his pants open and like starts to like shove his hand down
we
there.
don't have to keep
And
describing
the other guy's like, stop.
Yeah, he's like, stop. And he
Yeah.
just says stop twice, and then he doesn't stop. And then he cries when he's leaving his own house. Like, God, Nakayama deserves so much better than that guy with the glasses.
Oh, the guy with the glasses.
He wants to fuck him, and he won't
No, he
let him.
doesn't.
Yes, he does.
The
Yes,
guy with
he
the
does.
glasses doesn't want to fuck.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He's like, get over him. He's in love with Nakayama for sure.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does, Josh.
No, he doesn't.
You don't see it.
It's not real.
It's real. Watch the movie again, bitch. Watch the movie again.
Oh, you want to go there?
Yes, I do want to go there.
Hey, everybody listening and watching, tell them who watched the whole movie.
Okay, but you have to watch the nuances of the guy with the glasses to him, because he really does care for him, and he wants to
does
be
care
there
for
for
him.
and he wants to fuck him.
I care for Cody.
I'm not gonna say anymore.
Megan,
You wanted me to finish
Megan?
something with you want to fuck him?
Megan, can I say this? Megan,
What?
you're right.
You're such a liar. I'm telling you, he does. He really does love Nakayama.
I truly I didn't get that, but
Which I'm shocked.
I just.
And I'm kind of hurt.
How about we throw it to the lovely viewers and listeners? If you've seen this series, and if you're listening this far into the episode, I hope you have. Let us know if you think Glasses Guy, wants to fuck Haruki.
He does. He totally does. He totally does.
Is this the trap of a BL?
We just start gossiping about characters wanting to fuck each other.
He loves him. No, he doesn't.
I liked that. That was fun.
Yeah, no, he does want to fuck him for sure. But I do.
He doesn't.
I do very much enjoy the series, and I'm kind of sad that it is only 6 volumes, because I watched the anime, super into it, watched the more than half of the movie.
I saw it all. So,
but it leaves me kind of with a pain in my heart, knowing that it may not get a second season because it's just not a thing.
Yeah, I don't know how much more of this series is going to be is even out there. I'm pretty sure this is it, but I would love to see more. And if it is truly the end, then that's a fucking bummer. Hopefully, maybe with the popularity of the series, it might encourage the creator to write more. But we'll see. I mean, I don't know. And I could be wrong.
I mean, it's a story that has characters that you like, and then it just comes to an end, and there's nothing wrong with that, but still I'm like, fuck.
I'm like,
That's what's going on.
I feel the same way. Cody, I want to get, because I know me and Megan our final thoughts are going to be a little lengthy. I want to get your final thoughts as someone who says you liked it, but it's not something that you typically would read because just slice of life in general is not something you're a fan of. But how did you feel about this series? What are your kind of final thoughts on Volume 1?
It seemed like a fine slice of life story to me. I'm hearing that it gets more into the BL type of stuff that you figure would be in this. But it just seemed about being about a guy who wants to learn guitar.
But you liked it though, right?
I liked it, and I liked the reveal you get about the character, and like she showed me the thing of him singing that song, and I'm like, oh, yeah. If I got more build up to it, which you're supposed to get if you watch, I'm like, yeah, I probably would have teared up a little. But this isn't something I would go look for to read or look back on. I'd ask you guys how it ends.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm done now.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's just I don't do this.
Yeah, and that's very valid. Megan, what are your final thoughts? And how do you compare the anime to the manga? And just what were your feelings about both?
Well, just reading the first volume of the manga, it is definitely that vibe of like, it's just a guy, like Cody said, who wants to learn guitar. I remember like perusing the first volume and not really reading it when it was given to me. I didn't even.
Took me a second.
Wow,
I
really didn't even fucking realize I was saying that. But when it was given to me, I was like, oh, okay. Like I was literally flipping the pages looking for some kiss or face touch or ab shot, and there was none to be had.
Yeah.
So it really intrigued me because usually in a BL type story, a classic BL, you go through 2 pages and you're already seeing, some junk outline, and there was none to be had. So it really surprised me in a good way. And it really exceeded my expectations for the story and what it was going to be and what the characters were going to be like and how 3-dimensional they were and how, being in love with a man is not a big deal, and it is people are in love with who they're in love with. And I really like that about the series because it wasn't just focused on, oh, they're 2 gay guys in love. Oh, this is such a crazy thing. And it's like, no, it's just them being them. Yeah. And that's just a thing, and that's fine. And it is what it is. But this is like a great introduction, I guess, to, it's not really a standard BL, so I can't be like, it's a good introduction to BL, but it's like, it's not, it's like a unicorn, I feel. I haven't seen any other thing like it, like this, so it's definitely a good read. I would say in the first volume, if you want to read the first volume and then maybe check out the anime, because like you said and I said, it is 5 episodes into the anime when you barely get finished with the first volume, and there's a lot of differences in the anime versus the manga that I think they do better. The animation's very well done in the anime. Where did I put? Who's the studio?
Oh, the studio is
I
the same studio that did their Lurchi studio.
Yeah.
That did the anime, and then it's Blue Lynx that did the movie. Mm-hmm. But the anime studio, they did Toilet Bound, Hanako-kun, and Danganronpa.
Oh yeah, Assassination Classroom, Monster Musume.
Monster Musume.
Yeah. We should do Monster Musume.
Heard a lot about it.
You've never seen any?
Never seen it.
I watched
Snake
it
Lady.
all. The Snake Lady, Spider Lady, Bird Lady.
I also want to check out
Mermaid
the
Lady. Yeah, Monster Musume is.
Someone said spider, and it made me think of it.
Is a ride.
Yeah,
I didn't watch the non-censored one. I watched the censored one.
No, that's a good question. I would prefer a snake person over like a centaur.
Oh yeah, there's a
same,
centaur woman. Mia's cool. Mia's probably the best girl out of the series, which is the snake one. But we're not here to talk Mia. The studio is really cool. I like the mixture between the 3D animation and the 2D. Sometimes you said it did look a little weird at some points, but when there was a mixture of it, when they're playing the instruments,
it's really when they're performing. Yeah.
It's really good, and I was pleasantly surprised that they would add that element, and it made it look more real, like they were actually playing the instruments rather than just sometimes music anime do where they show the shot of them just like playing the drum and then
Oh, right,
them
right,
strumming
right.
the guitar.
Right.
And them singing. Like,
Yeah.
it was like a
That
performance,
was
which...
very good. You did it like an animatronic.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find that's a
Well, and I
Freddy
think
Yeah.
that's just sometimes that's a way for them to like save money
Of
on animation.
course.
Yeah.
But it's like,
What?
I mean...
No fucking way.
Wait, is it money? Is it money in animation?
But
No,
this,
I saw
this was
the
mixed
animation
well,
that I saw was really good.
Yeah, it was so good, and it
Yeah.
really made the series. And honestly, that scene of him performing and singing his lyrics, and that's when I was like, oh
Yeah.
fuck, I am hooked. Like,
Yeah.
I really feel for these characters now, and immediately what happens after that
Yeah.
part, I was like, okay, now I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm
like,
hooked.
that was such a good build up to what it was, and like, even after that, he's like, did that
Cody,
really
shut
happen?
up, Cody.
Did that really happen? Like, it's so good. But anyway, I would recommend Given for sure. If you haven't read it, watched it. If I mean, I loved what I watched. So if you're an anime, watcher, watch it. I couldn't say more than the first volume because I didn't read more than the first volume. But I'm sure that if the anime has anything to do with the manga, obviously, then the manga's probably really good too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty much in the same boat as you. I think it's something you should probably watch only because the manga's beautiful, the art's
Music.
beautiful, but the music, come on, you got to hear it. I think if you're on the fence about BLs in general, I mean, first of all, don't be. Second of all, read or watch this. Again, I don't know a lot about BLs or the genre, but I think of those tropes when I hear that, and this is not that. I think it's just a good story. So I recommend it to everybody. The one thing I wanted to mention was that
Oh yeah, who was talking shit?
no one was talking shit, but I just like I just mentioned that I was I was like,
Who
oh, I'm reading.
was talking shit?
Name them.
Name them. Drop.
No, I just mentioned that I was reading a BL, and I hear this reaction a lot from people, and it just like
Who?
like,
Men?
yeah, a lot of men, almost exclusively.
Yeah,
men.
I knew that was gonna be.
I think I know.
Yeah, but I hear this
Well,
reaction.
do I know who?
Oh, probably, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
But I it's just where I explain to them the story. They're like, oh, that sounds crazy, and I'm like, yeah, it's a BL. And then they
what's BL?
well, yeah, and then they ask what a BL is, and I just say, oh, it's boys love, but it's not. I mean, it's not what you might think it is. It's actually a really beautiful story, and it's just like the line, which I hear a lot, which is just like, oh, that's cool. It's just that's just not for me. Like
Dismissing it.
It seems dismissive, and but it's different from what you said, Cody, because you said like I just don't enjoy slice of life in general. But this almost felt like, oh, you were on board before
I told you it
this
was two
other.
men.
You know what I mean? And you're a very at least with like most people I interact with, like they're very open-minded people, and very progressive people, but for some reason they're still like that's still okay to say. And I just was thinking about that the other day, and I was like, isn't that seems kind of weird to me that that's still like an okay thing to say?
Well, it's
like, hey, people can do whatever they want, but I just don't want to see it. It's like, okay, well, that's not.
Well, to be fair, I don't want to see anyone being happy together.
But that's the difference. That's the difference. That's
You're just
fine.
sad.
Yeah, you're just
No.
sad.
But it's like same thing. I mean, anime and manga readers. There's people that are like, oh, fuck BL, but give me Yuri all day because
What?
it's Yuri.
Yuri.
It's
I'm
GL.
reacting to that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
he's-
it's like
he's playing a part.
I'll see two girls kiss, but I can't see two guys kiss
Right.
because I'll die. Like it's like shut the fuck up and grow up.
I
Like,
remember I had a class in
Yeah.
college, and it was like, oh, work with random 6 people, and it was some dude. I don't know. It's like after the project, we like shook hands, and he like we went to go, and he like, sorry man, I'm homophobic. I was like,
Whoa, dude. Whoa.
You're never gonna get anywhere in business, son.
I was just like, you have to do that to greet people though.
Yeah,
It's a handshake.
It's a handshake.
not a hand job.
No, that guy's
Yeah.
definitely probably gay.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, if he's saying stuff
That
like
was,
that.
I mean, maybe he felt the
Sad.
connection, but
I hope he finds
He
himself.
felt
I
the
hope,
connection. That's what it was.
I hope he finds himself.
that in my head, that's like the only person. Like, and he just like we were in the middle of a class. It wasn't even.
Jesus.
We were just. It was literally just like. It was a nutrition class. We were learning about like calorie, and it was just like Yeah, brown rice is better for you than white rice. And all right, see you later. Like, whoa,
Whoa, dude.
get that out of here. I don't.
I'm surprised you shook his hand to begin with, Cody. Though It's
I
not very-
abide
You're
by
very
social.
Cody gave me a hug today.
It was a beautiful thing.
Well, you gave me a very nice shirt. That meant a lot to me.
I know, but I was just like, wow.
It's just nice.
Happens every blue moon.
And that's what makes it special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
here's the thing. It's like I didn't want to shake hands, but I'm aware this is what you do.
Well, it's just
So you're a
like
psychopath.
Kind of.
I'm aware this is what people do,
This is
so
what
I'll
humans
do it.
do.
This is what humans do.
all I
Kind
want to
of.
say to wrap up the given final thought section of this episode is I recommend it. It's a good story. Period.
Period.
Across the board. It's beautiful. I really do recommend watching the anime or reading the manga, but the anime does take its time more. And the characters are so fleshed out, so complex. Do yourself a favor and check out Given. If you've already checked it out, let us know what you thought about it. And if we missed anything, or if I'm wrong about this being the end of it, let me know in the comments. Please. And speaking of comments, it's time to get to that Warner Circle, baby. Do you guys have your comments picked out already?
Yes. I'll go first because mine's short.
All right, Megan, start us off. What is your comment?
This comes from Gluck101 Gluck. 3 days ago on our Fire Punch review episode, I sense Adderall.
Coming from you.
Probably, yeah, directed towards me because
Yeah.
that would make the most sense to be directed towards me.
Yeah.
And we responded, which was really funny. Close. Lots of coffee and Red Bull.
Right.
Very accurate.
Right.
I think I did make a comment to our Discord. I said, fun fact. Oh, no, this was on a different episode. But still, I drink a lot of coffee before the episodes.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Do you still have the thing down there? The coffee that you drank?
The thing down there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have this, and then I asked Josh to make
She made
hot
another
coffee.
cup of coffee.
Yeah.
So I have this
Yeah.
coffee and coffee. So that's it may seem like I'm on Adderall because I'm so hyper focused and I bring a lot of good points to the podcast, but actually I'm just really hyped up on
And
coffee.
and honestly, after reading that comment, we have looked at footage of us.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it
Yeah,
does
do
look like
not
we're
bring that
all
to-
on drugs.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, can I? Oh, fuck. I mean,
Because there's an unspoken pressure in just knowing you're being recorded and every movement you do,
Yeah.
is being watched. So you're on your best behavior,
yeah.
and you know that like, oh, if I stare at them too long, that'll be on. So you have to like constantly switch.
This is back to the robot thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
So
scary.
but it's only because it's on. You know you're being recorded, so you
Right.
you kind of. You look like you're on drugs.
Yeah,
Well,
and that's
my-
me most of the time because I'm fidgety.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I thought you were bringing up that we found some old footage from episodes that we only released as like clips, I think. But I do think it's a perfect time to announce or at least mention we haven't really like as of recording this figured out exactly what we're gonna do, but it's our 1 year anniversary. On Sunday or a week from when we're recording this
On the 28th.
Yeah, on the 28th. So we want to do something special. And speaking of some of that old footage, we want to go through either on Twitch or on Discord, show that old footage and kind of like react to that old
You
footage.
can see Josh with a mustache.
Oh,
yeah.
you guys, you're not gonna want to miss this live stream. It is going to be the tits.
The tits.
It's gonna be
tits.
lit tits. It's gonna
Lay
be
tits. Yeah, you're right.
fucking what year is it? Rage memes. Yeah. So fucking look out for that because that's gonna be a really fun time.
Yeah,
we're very
and
excited.
like I said, like we don't know exactly how we're gonna do it yet, but we are planning on doing it. So for updates, Instagram,
I'll be announcing some updates. Also, our Discord, if you wanted to join that, I'll be putting some updates on there as well, just in the announcement section of the Discord.
and there's links for all that down below.
Yeah,
too.
if you haven't joined the Discord, you should join it because it's really fun and
Yeah, and we want to do movie or like watch parties and stuff too.
yeah. So this will be a cool way to join.
Maybe we'll watch the Given movie.
Maybe.
Cody, what's your comment? Great comment, by the way.
See, the problem is that's actually what I was going to pick.
You're a liar.
So, you were going to pick the same comment? I can read my comment while you find another
why?
one.
I have an idea.
What's your idea?
You go first.
Okay, this is a comment that comes from Alejandro Gomez.
Oh, fuck.
And it says, Josh and Cody, this was on our Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro-san. It says, Josh and Cody are both bottoms.
Mm.
Now,
okay, I mean...
do you want to, or
should I? You go first.
You know what, Cody? You go.
Okay. Let's be clear here. Power bottoms, first of all.
Yes. I mean, first of all and end of all.
End of all.
Yeah.
And also, legitimately, power bottoms go in gay and straight relationships, and there's nothing wrong. You know, it's not about where it's coming from, as long as it's
going in,
right.
towards
in.
Yeah. I just want to say this, Alejandro. Power bottom. You forgot to type that in. You forgot the word power bottom, because if I'm back there, I'm throwing it back, and so you'd be so lucky, Alejandro, to get me fucking slammed.
Speaking of bottoms,
yeah,
our good friend Damien, host,
love Damien.
Alejandro Gomez and him have a podcast called Tissues and Issues.
Yeah,
it's a sex podcast where they talk about everything and all crazy shit. So he's on that.
Oh, well, then
it's fitting for
his
content.
Can I finish talking about how I would I would be slamming it? Can I finish? Please? Love them. Love the podcast. Check it out.
God.
But also I'm back there and I'm slam dunking. I'm back there. I'm you know what I mean? It's like bam. You know what I mean? All I'm saying, you forgot power bottom.
He'll probably comment on the next one, obviously.
Yeah, and I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that it just slipped your mind. I'll give you that. Because it's a given.
You got me at the end.
Right. That's my comment. Cody, did you find one?
I'll just go with I don't want to repeat too many people's. I don't want to quote the same person too many times. Well, okay, whatever. Me Christian says we should name the possum Josh Jr. I wholeheartedly agree, and someone, spoiler alert, will be receiving that possum. You go ahead and name.
Yeah.
Send us a picture of that possum with a name tag.
Yeah.
It says Josh Jr.
Yeah, that's a good.
And we'll frame it. Right.
Sure. We'll put it on the set somewhere. How about that?
We'll frame it up.
Yeah. So it's up to. They know they're getting it right before I say it out loud.
No, don't say it. I don't think they know.
Oh, they don't know?
No.
Okay. Well, someone's getting it.
Oh, someone's getting it.
Someone's getting it, and when you do
That's a given.
That's a given. And when you do get it, why don't you throw a little name tag on there and send us a picture of it? And if you don't know what we're talking about, I'm afraid of possums. Cody thought it'd be funny to get me a plush possum. Was it that funny? It was horrifying.
It was pretty hilarious. Plus, I ordered it with a giant box of incense, so it should still smell like Nog Champa by the time you get it.
Nog Champa.
Wow. Anyway, that's it for the Given episode. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate every single one of you. Make sure to comment on the video so we can read your comment in the Wonder Circle. And if you are new to the show, subscribe. Consider joining our Discord. Consider joining our Patreon. Thank you, by the way, to all of our Patreon members. Yay. You guys are the fucking best.
Yes.
This is a message to one Patreon member, and you know who you are. I'm not going to put you on Front Street, but I love you. This is not an attack. I love you. I'm just telling you this out loud. This is from a Patreon member that was kind enough to message us and say, "Hey, I'm gonna have to not be a Patreon member just for a little while till I get some stuff lined up. But then I'm back, you know what I mean? And because I love you and I give you the benefit of the doubt, you're still in all the end of the episode. You're still on the Patreon list because we still love you.
Wow.
And I believe you that you're going to be back. And maybe you're not. Maybe you'll never come back.
Aww.
If you're not, so help him.
Yeah.
But I will raise hellfire.
And that's why if you're looking like, oh, I'm still on there. Maybe I can just keep getting away with being on there, and not have to actually be a Patreon member. I'm
now
aware.
As a Patreon member, you can suspend it for a couple months, and Josh will give you
still be on the list.
all the perks.
Oh,
And now we have that
funny.
on record.
He doesn't get all the perks. He just gives his name at the end of the episode.
Okay.
Right. But anyway, thank you to all our Patreon members. We do love you. You guys are the fucking best. Patreon.com/volume1pod, early access to episodes, polls, all that good stuff.
I was gonna say Cody Suicide Decker.
That was dark.
Holy fuck.
That was dark.
That's why I realized as I was saying it, one spoiler alert.
2.
Two
dark.
Yeah.
Too dark.
I was gonna make another dark joke, and I'm not gonna.
Okay.
I'm not gonna feed into it.
Okay,
I'm not
okay.
gonna feed into it. But anyway, that's all for today. The only thing left to do is to get out of here on our outro. That's always the same and never changes. Which today should be something like dun dun dun, and that's a given.
Dun, dun,
Oh,
dun.
you know what? I actually forgot that we have a special outro today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Volume 1 Chan, are you ready? Are you ready to sing your song? Because if you are, that'd be a great way to just get out of here. So actually, we'll do that. Instead of and we can do something in unison too. But Volume 1 Chan, just hit us with your song. Just hit us with your song.
La 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 la
Okay.
Still going. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, that was just you were just humming our actual theme song.
Yeah,
that's
she
what they were
said it was an
supposed to be.
original song.
It's supposed to be
And
lyrics, I think.
I was expecting it
to
to
go out on that. Dude.
Yeah.
Until next time, that's a given. I wrapped up the episode a little too early. I forgot that Megan had something planned, and that's my bad. Megan, take it away.
And you're probably wondering, we didn't even address the set. Obviously, we're recording this.
I realized that about a little too late.
Yeah, it's okay, but we're recording this the day before Valentine's Day, and I know that you guys don't have anyone, romantically. So I thought it'd be nice to
This
make
is
you.
what we had to set up back for.
I thought it'd be nice to do something different, which I've never done before. This is my first time doing this from scratch. So I was very excited to do this, and it's a thing that I've seen in anime and manga that I've wanted to try out as well. Stop.
Oh my god.
So I wanted to do this, so close your eyes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Can I open my eyes?
Yes.
Oh.
So I
This is
made
sweet.
these
You made these?
checkerboard cookies.
You made these?
Yes, I did. I know it's shocking. I
You
did make them.
made
I made them.
these.
I made them. You could try them.
Oh my god.
I practiced a couple days ago, and then I made them today.
Megan.
From scratch. But okay, so show the checkerboard ones, because no, they're at the bottom.
Okay.
I don't know. They're the ones that look like yes.
That's good.
Yes, okay. So I see these all the time in anime. If you're an anime and manga watcher, you know these cookies. They're everywhere for whatever reason.
Oh
a
my
lot of
God.
anime show
Oh.
them. And they're very
Where are these? Is this from different anime that you're pulling these pictures up from?
Yeah. And it's like a Valentine's Day thing, and they cook them in anime, and yeah. So I've seen them cook before, and I've been wanting to try them, and here they
This
are.
is fucking sweet and one of the nicest things anyone's ever done.
Happy Valentine's Day, guys.
Happy Valentine's Day to us all.
Are they good?
You know what? They're really good. They're really good.
Oh, thank you. Thank
you.
you.
I wish I
And-
would have got you guys
No,
something.
no, it's okay.
I mean,
I didn't get either.
The
of you
problem
guys
is we're
anyway.
both going to be so busy tomorrow.
Right. See, the thing is, me and Cody. Right. Me and Cody actually have Valentine's Day plans tomorrow. Not with each other.
No, with other people.
Yeah. So while you're doing your thing, thank you for the cookies, by the way.
You're welcome.
We'll share these with her.
Oh, right. Our Valentine's Day dates are gonna love them.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna.
Can we give some to them?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let them know I have your permission.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And I hope you have a great Valentine's Day. And I hope you're just as busy as me and Cody are.
Eating cookies.
Oh man.
I got my.
Yeah,
my night plan tomorrow.
And you're going to be watching this, a couple days after Valentine's Day. So I should say I hope you had a good Valentine's Day. And because I know me and Cody did. And it goes without saying, by the way, that Megan did. But I just feel like I need to let you know that me and Cody also had a good Valentine's Day.
Rest assured, me and Josh had dope Valentine's Days that were not sad.
Right.
Because as you're listening to this, we're probably partying still.
Oh yeah, dude, we're probably like, knee deep in like cookies. You know
okay.
what I mean?
Well,
Right. Thank you so much, Megan.
You're welcome.
I really do appreciate it. It's very nice. And Cody, anything?
thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, like I said, I hope you guys had a great Valentine's Day, and we'll see you guys. Stay tuned for the live updates for the live and everything too. And we'll see you guys next time.
Again.
Next time again.
Again.
And that's a given.
A given.
Can we say it at the same time?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's a given.
given.